Welcome back, YouTubers. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're moving on to another topic in Algebra 1. Basically, we're working eventually on how to combine like terms, multiply polynomials, and all that sort of stuff. But first, I want to teach you guys what in the world algebra tiles are. Now, these are going to be used as kind of a visual aid for us to start doing our combining like terms and multiplying. Sort of like back when you were in early elementary school, you use those snap cubes to start counting and adding and subtracting tens, digits, and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to be using this to kind of help us out in the beginning. I'm going to tell you what exactly those things are and what they all look like, and then we'll start building on some bigger and better things in later videos. The first thing we're going to start off with is just this little bitty yellow square. Now that little yellow square is going to represent the number 1. So there's 1. Now I could add on more of those. If I wanted to show the number 2, I would just put 2 of them. If I want to add in another one, I could say that is 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. So I can use these little bitty yellow squares to represent my numbers. Now, the next one that you'll see is this guy, which whenever we first think about it, or we first see it, we kind of want to try and act like it's like the old 5 or 10 block from our snap cubes. But if you line these things up and you try and mash everything up, you'll see very quickly that I put 4 of them right there. Oops. Put 4 of them in, and that's a little bit too short. If I put in a 5th one, it's still a little bit too short. If I put in a 6th one, now it's too long. This rod does not exactly fit any specific number of these things. That was done for a reason. We want this to be an unknown amount. There's no way you're ever going to be able to figure out how long this one is by lining up these small squares beside it. It's an unknown amount, and for unknown amounts in math, we always use an x. So this one is x. Now our third type of tile that we have is the big blue square. Now this one is a little bit different than this one in the fact that we could match it up. Notice that my green rod, my X rod, fits exactly with the blue square. If I was to take another one, well, since it's a square, these things are going to be exactly the same size. And well, it's X by X, which gives us the idea that this thing is an x squared. So to show you what I could do with this, if I was to put up this in front of you and ask you what polynomial does that refer to, well, this would be x squared plus 1, 2x plus 1, 2, 3. X squared plus 2x plus 3. Now, there's also the other sides of these things. I could flip them each over, and my yellow one flips over and it's red. My green one flips over, it is also red. My blue one flips over and it is also red. Each of these still means something, but it's just slightly different. The red side facing up with the square is -1. The red side facing up for my x is a negative x, and the red side facing up for my x squared is negative x squared. Now we could use this in different ways. For example, I could again just say here I have x minus 2. I could go in and say that I have a negative x minus 2, or flip it over again and negative x plus 2. The important thing to keep in mind is that as I'm going through here, if I were to put 2 of them side by side, a positive one and a negative one, just like in regular addition, these two add up to equal 0. We call these things 0 pairs. And I could do the same thing with any of my groups. X plus negative x would give me 0. I could even do it with my squares. X squared plus negative x squared would give me 0. So I'll be talking about 0 pairs as we do some of our exercises later. But for now, that's what our algebra tiles stand for. We've got 1 and -1, x and x, x squared, negative x squared, and of course, two of them together, the zero pair equals 0. So more to come on Algebra Tiles later.